What will people want more if the spot XRP ETF and the Solana spot ETF are both accepted on the same day? Some experts are going to say what they think will be the most popular thing during the first few days of this start. Aside from that, Jake Clever brought up some interesting points about XRP and its products that we haven't talked about much on the channel. We'll now talk about some of the things Brad Garlinghouse talked about near the end of the movie. But let's play this. Which one would get more flows if you launched both Solana and XRP at the same time? That's a great question. James, it's your turn. Okay, I'll say this. We did have something similar happen when futures Solana ETFs and leverage futures or derivatives-based ETFs with exposure to Solana came out before the XRP versions. And there are more assets and flows in the XRP versions than in the Solana versions. So still, the derivatives-based products aren't nearly as popular with buyers as the spot products would be. It's true that Rex Osprey tried to get an exposure to spot Solana with staking, but they did so by using a lot of different ways to get around the rules. Also, that's done really well. I would bet on XRP in the short term, but I think Sol will get more assets in that area in the long term. This is because, as you said, most people I know who don't know much about this space couldn't tell you how a blockchain works. They like XRP. They think all banks will use it as their back-end settlement method. Yes, I do believe there is a lot of shopping out there. People talk about XRP and Ripple more than almost anything else on TikTok. And these other social media sites, they have a great ground game. Log on to Reddit, it's the same. It's not real, just like the ground game. So I guess I would say that, I don't know. At that point, you're just guessing. From what I've seen and heard from people in this space and people who are only slightly interested in what's going on, though, it seems like a lot more serious people are looking at Solana. Having said that, I think Solana or Ethereum are more likely to be chosen by serious investors than Ripple or XRP. Yes, I agree with you. I believe XRP would do better at first. From what I've seen, crypto buyers generally like Solana more than XRP. However, that's not who buys the ETF on the first day. Wait a minute. I don't think of this weird and wonderful environment when I think of Solana. Think about how much of Solana trading is made up of meme coins. He says that big institutional buyers believe Solana is a better option than XRP. I'd love to know more about this. That's really cool. Meme coins account for 90% of all trades on Solana's decentralized market. Tell me about what you said about how serious institutional buyers are. Let's play this again. Yes, I agree with you. I believe XRP would do better at first. From what I've seen, crypto buyers generally like Solana more than XRP. However, that's not who buys the ETF on the first day. Right on, right? Passion, yes? Yes, there are. On a Saturday, I went to an XRP meeting in Las Vegas with 1,200 other people, and every seat was taken. That's crazy. Try to get that at a TradFi meeting. On Saturdays, no one is going. A huge number of people are really excited about XRP, and I think it will do really well right away. Again, the fact that 90% of people hate it doesn't matter. It's important that 10% of people love it. That's what makes the waves happen in the beginning. I believe it will do well. If Solana is ripping, you should think that it's going through a type of story change. I think that would mean a lot based on when it came out and where it is in the transition. It would do well if Solana is rising, but XRP would be my first choice, at least for the first few months. That's interesting. Even though XRP was the first to trade, they say Solana will win in the end. I think Solana is trying to stop being so focused on meme coins all the time. It's cool. But are they really going to be able to do that? A lot of people think that. But at the end of the day, there are 174 billion XRP in the market. Is this still correct? Up to date when I posted, okay? Solana 88 billion, higher spot trade and more liquidity compared to Solana, lower liquidity. Futures ETF volumes have been lackluster, and institutional interest has grown since the law became clearer in 2023. Looking forward to the ETF approval and becoming more interested in the XRP system. Institutional demand is growing because of better technology, results and benefits, but the launch of the futures ETF wasn't very exciting. XRP, a US court decision in 2023, said that XRP itself was not a security. However, the SEC is still looking into sole security status, which could make it harder for ETFs to become popular. ETF acceptance for both of them, in the high 90s at the very least. It will be interesting to see how these two compare and contrast. I'm going to play this Jake Clever clip. Let me talk about the derivatives now, as that's where things get interesting. Okay, this is what I think Ripple's main goal is with what they're building. They have something called Codius that's been in beta for a long time. It's a tool for smart contract derivatives. It's all of these structured variations. You can't even measure futures right now. People don't even know how dangerous it is. In 2008, Lehman and all those other companies failed because they had a lot of mortgage-backed securities that they had packed up, sold borrowed money against, and done a lot of other risky things with. They do this because they make a lot of money. There is no way to measure the danger, and no one can tell you how much the derivatives market is worth. It's between $400 trillion and $4 quadrillion. And if you had a way to keep track of that, that could be used to find all the risks that came with it and put out all of these variations because they're hard to understand. You need really hard to understand smart contracts to make this work. That was on the XRPL, and XRP takes care of those. This is about $10,000 to $50,000 in XRP. I think that's 5 years. He says that because of swaps, XRP could be worth anywhere from $10 to $50,000 in 5 years. That was an interesting statement. He brought up Codius. I'm not sure if you heard that. Codius is an open source decentralized hosting system for running smart contracts and smart programs. If you don't know what it is, click here. Codius performs contracts off-chain on a distributed network of hosts, making it easier for smart contracts to work with other systems. This is different from other blockchain-based smart contract platforms where contracts run directly on the chain. The platform lets programs written in any common language run in safe, separate spaces and makes payment and performance possible with built-in billing. The connection between Codius and Ripple is talked about. Ripple started Codius in 2014 as a tool for smart contracts, but it was put on hold at first because the market wasn't ready for it. Later, the product came back, especially after Ripple's interledger protocol was released and made it possible for payments to be sent between different ledgers, which was a big problem. In cross-chain smart contracts, where technology works together, Codius smart contracts can store assets on more than one distributed ledger, such as XRP and Bitcoin. This makes it easy to move and control value across different blockchains. Interledger connection. Codius works directly with the interledger protocol, which was also created by Ripple. This lets contracts make and receive payments across blockchain payment networks that are supported. To use XRP, you can pay for Codius servers with XRP. Contracts can use XRP as a payment or escrow currency, which means that people who make and use smart contracts need it. Both Codius and Ripple want the Internet of Value to be a place where assets can move quickly and without any problems across global networks. Building guidance. Ripple is still involved, mostly through Stefan Thomas, who used to be CTO of Ripple and now supports Codius and related protocols like Coil that aim for decentralized upgrading systems that use interledger. Codius contracts don't need blockchain agreement for every action, so they run faster and cost less than traditional on-chain execution like Ethereum. They can also connect assets and actions between ledgers, which makes them the only smart contract platform that can do this. If you buy or sell XRP products like futures or options, the value is in XRP or of XRP. They let traders and companies bet on changes in the price of XRP or protect their XRP holdings without actually owning the asset. Futures contracts are deals to buy and sell a certain amount of XRP at a set price at a certain date and time. Options give you the choice, but not the duty, to buy or sell XRP at a certain price. They also let you use security and trade on sites like Kraken and Coinbase. Among other things, you can use USDT or XRP futures. Of course, you had Crypto Iris. This question was made by her. The main reason I own XRP, the Ripple team gave the best answer. The EVM sidechain has gained 1,400 smart contracts in the first week or two and more than $5 million in locks. It is now worth $118 million locks, a gain of 2,200% in 2025. It looks like 13%, number one. Multi-gas token, multi-chain gas token, and 20. When the market does well or goes up, scammers hit the crypto community even more, just like clockwork. Please be aware of the new scam on YouTube that targets the XRP family by pretending to be a Ripple official or account. We will keep telling you about these. Take a look at an account that seems to be Ripple's. They're telling you to send them your XRP and they'll send it back to you twice as fast. Always a scam, guys. Watch out very, very carefully. Do not send your XRP to anyone. You should stop what you're doing and ask questions if you don't understand something, right? Take a moment if someone direct messages you and tells you to send crypto or tries to get you to join a trading site or something like that. Before you send any crypto, take a big breath and make sure you know what you're doing. You will never get that crypto back if you send it. Okay, guys, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for being here. I'll see you soon. Hello, if you want to learn about money, don't watch this video. This is only meant to be entertaining. That's not what I do for a living. Please get help with your money if you need it. Come back to the movie.